That's right. Welcome to Gaming and Grappling, episode number 2. I'm Champ alongside my co-host.
Hey, I'm Tetsuke.
In the best in the world, the voice of the voiceless, CM Punk has returned to professional wrestling in All Elite Wrestling this past Friday night on the second edition of AEW Rampage.
Yes.
From the United Center in Chicago. And as for a person that does not watch wrestling, what did you make of it?
There was ice cream bars.
Yes, there were ice cream bars involved. What a crazy week it has been in professional wrestling. We're going to break down CM Punk's debut, the match he made with Darby Allin heading towards All Out on September 5th. Going to quickly review SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver and anything else we think about talking through. And I promise this one will not be 2 hours long. We did have the battle for the Dos Torques Championship, but I kind of forgot to keep track of who won what during SummerSlam. So, episode 3, that will be decided. So, yeah, let's talk about it. CM Punk is back.
Yeah.
CM Punk returned on AEW Rampage from the United Center in Chicago in front of a sold-out crowd of 15,000. And for anybody that thought for an instant that AEW is not, quote, competition to WWE, they sold out a building on a rumor that he would be there.
To be fair, here's the funny bit, and like you've actually talked about this before, they see themselves as an alternative, but I think that very idea is what potentially makes them competition.
It's very true, but so they sold out the United Center, which is a bigger building that normally when wrestling runs in Chicago, they don't use the United Center because it's more expensive to run the United Center.
Okay.
They use the Sears Center, or I believe it was called the Allstate Arena. I'm not sure. I don't live in Chicago. I'm not a Bulls fan. But so CM Punk returns, humongous pop as to be expected. Dove into the crowd, was hugging people. I have never seen somebody literally have a wrestling company have to go to commercial because the crowd was being too loud.
I mean, that's a good thing, isn't it?
It's a very good thing. It's a very good thing. As he stepped in the ring for his promo, they went to commercial, they came back, and Punk said the opening line of, "Boy, you sure know how to make a kid feel like Britt Baker in Pittsburgh," referring to the AEW Women's Champion, as I have to inform that to Tetsu, who's from Pittsburgh. That was the week before.
I'm from Pittsburgh.
No, you're not from Pittsburgh.
I'm about to say, I recall being born in Monroe.
Yeah, I was born in Mississippi, but, fun stuff. Basically, he said he heard the chants for 7 years, and that he said the single most important thing he said was that if any of his personal decisions in his life that made anybody feel let down or disappointed, that he understood, if only we understand, he was never going to get healthy staying in the place that got him sick in the first place.
Considering what you've told me about his time in WWE, I can agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, towards the end of his WWE run, he did not look very healthy at all. But he looks great now. And he set up a match with Darby Allin September 5th at All Out. His first match back in 7 years. And of course that match is going to take place in Chicago at the Sears Center. At least I think it's called the Sears Center, excuse me. Fast forward to last night on Dynamite when we're recording this. I don't know when this is going to go up.
I'm hoping tomorrow.
I hope tomorrow, yeah. Came out, did an interview with Tony Schiavone in the middle of the ring. And for me, you haven't seen this yet, but for me, the fact that CM Punk and Tony Schiavone were in the same ring together is pretty damn cool. I mean, are we past the time where I can curse yet? Yeah, we're 5 minutes into this. Yeah, it was pretty fucking cool.
YouTube is a funny mistress.
Mm-hmm. But the best line of that was, he keeps looking at the camera, right down the camera, and goes, "Can CM Punk still be considered the best in the world? Can CM Punk still go?" And the crowd starts doing, the yes chant with the fingers in the air and going, "Yes, yes, yes." And he just stops and he smiles.
I'm about to say, isn't that somebody else's?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. He stops and he smiles and he goes, "No, that's somebody else's stick, and y'all might just need to be a little more patient." And the crowd goes crazy. And, that's, I hear people on the internet, they complain, that the WWE defenders complain, well, AEW's not really competition. And I saw something, when Roman going to SummerSlam, Roman Reigns said that CM Punk was not a needle mover like The Rock and John Cena, right? Rampage's debut episode, had 700-something thousand viewers, right? Mm-hmm. The CM Punk segment alone had over 1.3 million. And I just looked a little bit ago at the ratings for Dynamite from last night, and as I'm pulling them back up here, 1.172 million viewers on TNT last night. Was the number one rated show on cable for the night. Was ranked number one on the night in the cable top 150 and 31 in the night for total viewership.
That's not bad.
No, not for a fucking pissant t-shirt company what Triple H called them. So,
Ice cream bars.
Ice cream bars, yes, and then Dynamite. Everybody in the United Center got a free ice cream bar that apparently CM Punk paid for.
And it had a custom wrapper. Apparently people were selling it on eBay.
For lots of money. As a matter of fact, I wish I would have pulled this up before we started doing the podcast. So I'm going to look this up on eBay real quick while we're waiting here. And we're going to go ahead and just take a quick look-see here and see what a CM Punk ice cream bar wrapper is going for.
Probably more than we make in a month, I wager.
Probably. Let's see here.
A little bit of an awkward pause here, trying to get this pulled up. I'll have to edit this out, probably.
No, we keep talking during this, as they can just hear the keys ticking on the ice cream. So I've got one wrapper going for $24.99, and the one right below it, ice cream bar, CM Punk ice cream bar, unopened. It says $800 or best offer.
It's an unopened ice cream bar.
Oh, here's a lot of 5 for $89.99.
Oh, that's a bit cheaper.
$1,000 unopened ice cream bar. And his new T-shirt is currently going on
$350.
Mm-hmm.
$1,000 for an unopened ice cream.
$1,000 for an unopened ice cream bar wrapper. Ah, have a drink for the working man.
Tastes good.
Yeah, that was not a beer. That was a Mountain Dew.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. As I drink this delicious.
If only for some free cases of Mountain Dew.
But we had to end up doing these more and more. So yeah, let's look. We march towards All Out on September 5th, and I normally don't like spending money on pay-per-view, right?
Right.
Because I've been spoiled by the WWE Network for the last couple years, being able to watch all the pay-per-views every month, and then the whole thing with Peacock, and Peacock sucks, and that's
it's complete trash. You're paying. Yes, you're not paying a whole lot, but there are plenty of streaming services where you get far more for just a bit more of a paid hike.
Well, the WWE Network was $9.99, right? Basically after tax in the state of Louisiana and all that. Let's say about like $11, right?
Yeah.
It's like $4.99 a month with Peacock. With ads. Now you pay $10 without ads. And I do pay the $10 without ads. So basically I'm paying the exact same thing.
Yeah, but what are the features on Peacock?
A lot worse than the WWE Network.
A lot worse than most streaming services. Now, granted, Peacock is pretty new as far as streaming services go, but it's still pretty bare bones for what it is. And I just don't see how these people could have, put it out there the way it is currently.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sitting here scrolling through these, and they're going from anywhere from $20 to $800. The CM Punk I Was There t-shirt is going for $325.
Is that bar a soap?
No, it looks... I don't know what this is. Box only. Ice cream bar.
Punk pop?
Did somebody really take the box that the ice cream bars came... Somebody is literally selling the box.
For $149. What the heck?
You are bidding on one CM Punk ice cream bar box from 8/20/21 from the United Center. Best in the world. Auction is for the box only as shown. Thanks for looking. And you are selling it for $149.95. Yes, because that's what everybody wants to spend money on. And I'm sure somebody will buy that.
I'm about to say, somebody bought an entire bathtub of Britney Spears' sweat, which probably wasn't even her sweat.
No, and I didn't need to know that.
That was like, what, years ago?
So we're moving towards All Out. He's going to face Darby Allin. That's your main event of the show. I don't care if the AEW World title closes the pay-per-view or not. CM Punk versus Darby Allin is your main event for All Out. Because it's CM Punk's first match back in 7 years.
Yeah.
In Chicago. Mm-hmm. In his hometown. And I really hate to say this, but Darby Allin ain't winning that match. You don't bring somebody back after 7 years to have them losing their first match back.
Yeah, that would kind of suck.
It's not how that works. So then we follow that excitement up on Rampage on Friday night with what I would say is a lackluster SummerSlam. Like,
considering what you told me,
yeah, you know, SummerSlam took place this past Saturday at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas with a supposed attendance of 51,000 something, whatever, like 50-something thousand people. We had a couple title changes on the show. We had, you know, RK Bro beat AJ Styles and Omos to win the Raw Tag Team titles. It was a very good match to open the show. And then we kind of went into... Look, if this whole Alexa Bliss thing and the whole Lily thing and the whole supernatural spookiness and everything...
And CGI doll.
And CGI winking doll. If you're into this sort of thing, then by all means, right? And that's the thing I think a lot of people, I was trying to make earlier, that's the thing I think a lot of people don't quite grasp about professional wrestling anymore. That wrestling is supposed to be fun, right? It's supposed to be sports entertainment in WWE, or professional wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people get to the point now that they don't see it as fun because they've been WWE fans for so long, and that WWE is all they know. That this is sounding really bad because I can't get a thought across. When you have companies like AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, and they do all sorts of different styles, and yeah, everybody. I heard people sit there, and Jim Cornette is very famous for sitting there saying that he calls it all petite wrestling because they're smaller wrestlers and they do a whole bunch of high spots, and it's nothing but a bunch of flippy doodah shit.
Well, here, okay, keep in mind again, I don't watch wrestling all that much, but I do have an opinion on a few things like this. The main thing that comes to my mind, WWE is big. That they don't, to be fair,
right.
And lots of companies do this.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get big enough, you seem to always become lazy with this kind of stuff.
No, it's not lazy because of the size of the company. It's when you have guaranteed television money,
mm-hmm.
right? And, you know, they got that $1 billion deal from Fox for SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then they got the $500 million deal from the USA Network for Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest problem with Raw is that Raw is 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot, when I was growing up, that, occasionally you had the occasional 3-hour Raw.
Yeah.
Right? Fine. 1 3-hour Raw, maybe once a year. No big deal. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You get to Raw every week now. Is 3 hours long. And it's usually rematch after rematch or some kind of variation. Like, I couldn't tell you the amount of times, like on these matches on SummerSlam, that we had a combination match of one member of the Usos against one member of the Mysterios. It was Jimmy Uso 1 week against Rey, and then Jey Uso against Dominic, or then it was flip-flop. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was for weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if I see the same match over and over and over again,
I think it's kind of boring.
It does. It gets very, very boring. So, anyway, Alexa Bliss beat Eva Marie. Doudrop turned on Eva after the match. Okay, moving on. Damian Priest then beat Sheamus for the United States Championship in a good match. It was a good match.
I didn't see it.
I mean, I know you didn't see it. You didn't watch SummerSlam. God forbid you sat and watched 6 hours of wrestling. The Usos retained the SmackDown Tag Team Championships over the Mysterios. Then we get to probably one of the more controversial moments of SummerSlam.
Please don't say that word.
Controversial?
Yes, because it's been used to hell at this point.
Okay, let me get to one of the most decisive people bitching online moments about SummerSlam.
That's better.
Okay. So the original match was supposed to be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Reports come out during the week leading up to SummerSlam that Sasha is not cleared to wrestle.
Yeah. Did they ever figure out, what's going on?
Apparently she's not injured.
Okay.
That's what we know.
Does she have the Voldemort virus?
I don't know if she has that thing. It must not be named.
Yeah.
So she's not there. They announced Carmella as her replacement.
Okay.
Mind you, we've now seen Carmella versus Bianca Belair multiple times over the past couple weeks.
Okay.
But then the music hits. And out walks the man, Becky Lynch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I say the music hits, I really should have had this pulled up.
We are wholly professional here at Dose Store.
You know, the music hit. Out walks the man, Becky Lynch, takes out Carmella, looks at Bianca, and says, let's you and me right now have a match for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Okay.
And then proceeds to squash Bianca in about 26 seconds.
Now, Bianca is almost superhero.
No.
Oh, that's the other one.
That's Nikki ASH.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that match. It was a cool moment for Becky to return. We've all been waiting for Becky to return. However, squashing the women's champion in 26 seconds, especially the women's champion you've been building this entire year, from her winning the women's Royal Rumble match in January to her and Sasha night one at WrestleMania, which was phenomenal. And then you just have her squashed by Becky Lynch in 26 seconds. Now, the reports going around stating that Becky Lynch is turning heel.
Okay.
And the last time, and this apparently was Becky's idea.
Like, is there actual evidence, or is this just...
This is just what is being reported by the wrestling media. All right.
Okay. That doesn't fill me with confidence.
All right. The last time they tried to turn Becky heel was at SummerSlam in 2018 when she attacked Charlotte after the match.
Yeah, you told me that they started cheering.
Yeah, she started laying into Charlotte, and the crowd went nuts and started cheering for Becky, which turned, her into a megastar, basically.
I gotta ask, what the hell was the characteristics of this other chick that everyone just...
Was Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
You picked her in the fucking poll.
I did?
To win the match. Yeah, that's the one match. That's the one match. No. In the truck on the way home from work, you picked Charlotte. I think on the predictions, you actually went with Rhea.
Maybe.
But yeah, so Becky is the SmackDown Women's Champion, supposedly turning heel. We'll find out more tomorrow night on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre beat Jinder Mahal in 4 minutes with a Claymore kick. And then tried to behead Veer and Shanky with a sword afterwards. That is apparently named Angela.
The sword is named Angela?
The sword is named Angela.
Who is writing this utter crap?
Pretty much Hollywood writers who have no idea what professional wrestling is.
I mean, well, okay, to be fair, Hollywood writers, for the past decade, have done pretty bad, so, yeah.
Right. Raw Women's Championship match, triple threat between Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and Nikki ASH, your favorite wrestler, almost a superhero, because you seem to love that gimmick.
I think that they can do stuff with it, but it sounds like they're doing nothing with it.
Match was better than what I thought it was going to be. And
how low was the match?
The story made no sense going into the match because you have a woman that cashes in the Money in the Bank contract, wins the title the night after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and then proceeds to lose almost every match going towards SummerSlam. But it's okay because she proved to herself that she could almost win. The look on your face when I said that just now.
It makes me really, really wonder how these people still have a job.
The ending came. Nikki got on the top rope, went to hit a crossbody. Charlotte literally just like stepped out of the way, slapped on the figure 4, bridged into the figure 8. Nikki had no choice. She tapped out. Charlotte Flair is now the 12-time women's champion because they do not recognize her 2 NXT women's title reigns anymore.
Oh yeah, because they
they don't recognize that. So the 14 really 12-time women's champion.
That's a very bad call.
I know, right? Should probably get that checked. And then came the match of the night. Edge versus Seth Rollins. Edge came out with the Brood music, came up through the ring of fire, the circle of fire, like the old Brood entrance from back in the day. It's perfect. Lots of attempts to go. The story was about going into this match was Seth trying to end what he should have ended 7 years ago by trying to break Edge's neck and retiring him. The whole point of this match was Edge trying to avoid the curb stomp.
Yeah.
And the finish came when Edge had him in a crossface in the middle of the ring, and Rollins had broken Edge's hands and was leaning out of the crossface. So Edge grabbed him by the back of the head and repeatedly slammed his head into the mat, and then reapplied the crossface. And Rollins tapped out.
The way you say that makes it sound far more comical than it probably was.
Yeah. And then we had Bobby Lashley, the almighty WWE champion, defending against Goldberg.
The Goldberg!
or because they cut off the middle, because his whole gimmick when he walks out to the ring is he gets knocked on the locker room door. He comes out and he's marched to the gorilla position by security, right?
Yeah.
Well, in the arena, on the Jumbotron in the arena, the actual scoreboard for the football stadium,
yeah,
they put the screen of him walking towards the ring with the security.
Yeah.
Except they didn't take off the freaking nameplate. So it was cut into the middle of his name. So it literally said Gore.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Gorg as he's walking to the ring for his match with the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley.
Oh boy.
And I told you last week when this match happened, right? That what needed to happen, the match didn't need to go longer than 3 or 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It needed to be Bobby Lashley just Goldberg and Goldberg, basically.
Yeah, but we figured that since they were going to Saudi Arabia, that considering that Goldberg is pretty popular, they'd probably keep him.
Oh, you're not far off on that one. So, Goldberg nearly killed Lashley by throwing him off the top rope. And I mean literally kill him because he almost looked like he almost landed on the top of his head.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is becoming a recurring theme with Goldberg matches recently.
Well, to be fair, he's incredibly old. He shouldn't even be in the ring anymore.
Right. The match ended via referee stoppage because Bobby Lashley rammed Goldberg's knee into the ring post multiple times, and Goldberg could not stand up. So Bobby Lashley retained the WWE Championship via referee stoppage. What you said about Saudi Arabia, and they did officially announce Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
They didn't announce a date, but they did announce Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia during this show. But you mentioned Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And Bobby Lashley, after the match, grabs a steel chair and is hammering Goldberg with it, right? Mm-hmm. In the back, in the legs, to the point that Goldberg's son, Sunberg, jumps.
Whoa!
No, it's not his name. It's what people call him. Sunberg jumps into the ring, and he tries to put a sleeper hold on Bobby Lashley.
I can imagine that didn't go well.
Well, Bobby Lashley flips him over and puts him in the Hurt Lock.
I have no idea.
To which it's a full Nelson lock, like that.
Okay.
And then MVP goes, whoa, 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 whoa. There's no way that Bobby Lashley knew that was Goldberg's son. You can't prove that. And then as they're leaving, Goldberg crawls over to his son and looks at Lashley and says, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
Can they say that on television?
They're on pay-per-view. They can say what they want.
Yeah, fair point.
So obviously, you said Saudi Arabia. This feud must continue.
Oh, dear.
I don't know for sure, but I mean, that would be the general direction that I think they were leaning in.
It's a general idea, but it is WWE.
Right. And then the main event for the Universal Championship, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns against the 16-time WWE Champion John Cena. And the added stipulation that was added on SmackDown the night before the pay-per-view was if Roman lost, Roman would have left WWE.
Okay.
So thanks, WWE, for any doubt whatsoever that Roman was actually going to lose this match. I'm sorry. Who's going to win the match? The full-time Universal Champion that's had the title for over a year? Or the guy that's a 16-time World Champion part-timer that's going to film a movie in Europe?
I'm about to say, he's already done several movies at this point.
But he's leaving again to go film another movie.
Which one is it this time?
I don't know. So the match starts off slow. Roman knocking Cena down, talking trash. Crowd was kind of dead. But then the second half of the match, it picked up. Got a lot of false finishes. Cena hits an AA. Roman kicks out at 2. Roman hits a Superman punch. Cena kicks out at 2. Cena rolls out of the ring. Roman charges go to give him another Superman punch outside the ring. Cena catches him, hits an AA through the announce table. Rolls Roman back in the ring. Roman kicks out at 2.
Okay.
Finally, Cena's like, alright, I'm going to hit an AA from the second rope. An avalanche AA from the second rope. Roman kicks out at 2.
Okay.
The whole point of this match was Cena was trying to pin Roman whenever he could, because the story was going, it was 1, 2, 3. That was the story. And he kept using the surprise roll-ups. He kept kicking out of finishers. Well, then Roman hits a couple Superman punches, hits a spear. 1, 2, 3. The Tribal Chief is still the Universal Champion. Then we got our second return of the night.
Okay.
The music hits, and out walks Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
Caveman ponytail and all. Looking like he just walked off the farm. And now the thing about Brock Lesnar is Brock has not been in WWE since last year's WrestleMania, when he lost the WWE title to Drew McIntyre. Okay. In the silent WrestleMania back in the Performance Center when nobody was there.
Yeah.
And we all thought that, SummerSlam, big arena. Is Brock going to be at SummerSlam? And for weeks we were told, nah, Brock ain't going to be at SummerSlam. There's no way. Why would they bring Brock back now?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're going to Saudi Arabia. And from the reports I read, that this match was not supposed to happen until WrestleMania 39 in 2 years. Was the original plan was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 39. And I've seen people complain online. Oh, no. We've seen this match before. We've seen Roman versus Brock so many times. But we've never seen it from the point of view where Brock Lesnar is the babyface and Roman's the heel. And that's what makes it more interesting. Because who was Brock Lesnar's advocate? Paul Heyman. Who is now the special counsel to the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns? Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman sold this perfectly. So Roman leaves. Brock stares him down. Pay-per-view goes off the air. Apparently after the pay-per-view, Brock Lesnar going to do a Brock Lesnar, and since it's SummerSlam, I think Brock Lesnar is then is legally required to beat the hell out of John Cena.
And why is that?
Because in 2014, Brock Lesnar beat the hell out of John Cena at SummerSlam.
Okay, fair enough.
And Brock took Cena to Suplex City, hit some German suplexes, hit an F5, and left Cena laying. So, that was after the pay-per-view went off the air.
Yeah.
So, overall, middle of the road show. Main event was good. Edge versus Rollins was good. Everything else was... the RK Bro stuff was good, too. But middle of the road show for me. Then we get to NXT TakeOver the next night. Cameron Grimes won the $1 Million Championship off LA Knight. Raquel Gonzalez beat Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's title to retain the NXT Women's title. Match of the night and quite possibly match of the year in WWE between Ilya Dragunov and Walter for the NXT UK Championship in a rematch from their match they had on NXT last year.
Mm-hmm.
Just phenomenal match. And Ilya Dragunov ended the 870-day title reign of Walter. 870 days he held that United Kingdom Championship.
Well, his name's Walter, so...
Walter, yeah. I'm going to hit right. Then Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole in the 3 Stages of Hell match. The first match was just a straight one-on-one wrestling match, which Kyle O'Reilly won in about 5 minutes with a surprise roll-up as Adam Cole tried to go for the Panama Sunrise. The second fall was the street fight, and then that became the working point from the rest of the match was Kyle O'Reilly's midsection got injured.
Okay.
And that became the target point for Adam Cole, and Adam Cole flipped. So there are 2 chairs sitting back to back in the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle O'Reilly's on the top rope. Adam Cole comes over, flips him off the top rope, so his back lands in between, like, on the 2 chairs.
Ooh.
Right. Hits the last shot. 1, 2, 3. We're all tied up. To the final fall, which was inside a steel cage.
Okay.
And before the match even started, the steel cage match even started, we got Adam Cole picks up Kyle O'Reilly and power bombs him on the corner of the announce table. Rolls him back in the ring. Hits the Panama Sunrise, goes for the cover. Kyle O'Reilly kicks out. So then Adam Cole grabs a pair of handcuffs and handcuffs Kyle O'Reilly to the top rope and starts hitting super kick after super kick after super kick. And he goes for one more super kick. And Kyle O'Reilly caught it and locked in a heel hook with one arm. And Adam Cole tapped out. Again, steel cage match only went like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, the street fight was really the build of the whole thing. It's a great match. Which leads into another point that I was going to make. Is Adam Cole's contract expires tomorrow. So, he's officially done with WWE NXT. And his contract actually expired last month. But he signed a 1-month extension to get through TakeOver. And WWE fired the guy that was supposed to keep track of that. And do you know what that guy's last name was?
What?
Seaman.
Okay.
They fired Seaman.
Okay.
Seaman's out of there. They shot Seaman everywhere.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. Anyway, then the main event, Samoa Joe beat Karrion Kross.
Just to point out, I know where he was going, but I'm trying to keep this
Samoa Joe beat Karrion Kross with a muscle buster to win the NXT Championship, becoming the first 3-time NXT champion. And that is the week in wrestling. I'm not reviewing Raw because I did not watch Raw, because I don't care to watch Raw. 3-hour Raw is too long.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, incredible week in wrestling. We've got AEW All Out to look forward to. And that's going to be it for my wrestling review for the week.
All right. Well, is there any like closing thoughts or what?
Professional wrestling, closing thoughts. Professional wrestling is the most fun when there's a big crowd like there was in the United Center. And the crowd is so into everything. And the matches are good and it flows and people are having fun. And like the guy was literally crying in the stands when Punk returned. And I told you that's what pro wrestling means to me. Is pro wrestling, when it's good, there's nothing better. I've been to college football games. I've been to NFL games. I've been to Major League Baseball games. I've been to local indie shows here in Monroe, West Monroe area.
Yeah.
When I've been to WWE shows, I've been to WWE pay-per-views, I've been to an Impact Wrestling show here in Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
When the crowd is into it and the chants are going and everybody's having a good time and having fun and the matches are good and the stories make sense, professional wrestling cannot be beat. Except maybe on Saturday night in Death Valley in the fall at Tiger Stadium, but that's a different kind of high.
You've literally described the problem with the multi-million-dollar movie industry, but with wrestling. I'm not kidding.
Do you want to talk about that?
I mean, I don't want to be here all night. So.
I mean, we're gonna keep this under an hour. You've got 22 minutes.
Where do I start? Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Interesting talkway segue.
Alright. Okay. So, getting into the gaming portion of this, to be fair, I don't really have too much to report. I've been trying to keep up with the Legend of Arceus for a minute since our last podcast. And have been some recent rumors and developments going around. For one, apparently, or supposedly, I haven't been able to confirm this, Legend of Arceus apparently isn't going to have any form of online play.
Really?
Like I said, I haven't confirmed this, but there seems to be a lot of evidence showing that it's not going to have player versus player. Which is very interesting for a Pokemon game. At least for, Pokemon battles in the general sense.
So you're saying that you don't believe Pokemon Arceus is going to have a competitive scene?
I don't... If it has the ability for people to battle each other, yeah, I can imagine. Just like, Pikachu and Eevee. Let's go. Surprisingly, it ended up... it has its own competitive tournaments insane right now. Even... now.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird when you sit there, because I don't do competitive Pokemon very well.
I mean, to be fair, neither do I.
Because everybody I've ever battled, we do the EV or the IV training, and, we go through the super training or the hyper training, and, we breed to have, like, the best Pokemon ever, and if you're into that, awesome, right? Yeah. It's not me. I don't have the time.
Well, neither do I.
I don't have the time or the patience to do that. I've told you this story before about how I bred like 40 Eevees, and I finally got an Eevee with hidden ability, and when I got an Espeon and had Magic Bounce, how fucking stoked I was.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh god, I just bred like 40 Eevee to do that. And I'm just like...
The fact that it was just 40 EVs? Is...
Right, no, the fact it was only 40. The fact it didn't take like 400.
Imagine if he was shiny hunting. Oh, dear.
It's funny. I'll tell you a story. I bought a couple years ago Pokemon Silver on the 3DS, right? Yeah. And... I remember I was right before Azalea Town. I was training up something to fight Bugsy with.
Wait, you were training something to fight bugs?
Because I was doing a challenge.
Oh.
I can't remember what the challenge was. It was a solo Pokemon challenge. I was just casually playing, having fun.
Yeah.
And I've never run into a shiny in gold or silver outside of the red Gyarados before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shiny Rattata. And I remember thinking to myself going, you know, that is a horrible looking shiny because it's just a fader shade of purple.
Yeah.
And you brought up Let's Go, and I remember I was in a Cerulean Cave.
Yeah.
And I was running back and forth and resetting the game and all that, trying to find I was trying to find a Dome Fossil.
Okay.
Because I was trying to complete the Pokedex.
Yeah.
And as I'm running back and forth, one of the things I love about Let's Go is, and Sword and Shield for that matter, is that the Pokemon appear on the overworld map.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm running back and forth, and all of a sudden, hey, look, there's a shiny Golbat.
Yeah, I saw you catch it. You called me into the room.
Like, yeah, you were standing right there when I caught that thing, and I was like, hey, first shiny in Let's Go, and to this day, the only shiny I've gotten in Let's Go.
I also remember, vaguely, mind you, that, like, 5 days later when we started doing the Pokemon Home thing, you looked over my shoulder and at the fact that I kept getting shinies from my trade.
Oh, you mean the hack trade shinies that you kept getting?
No, the shiny Magmar, the level 11.
Oh, yeah, like you kept getting the shinies on Pokemon Home. I thought you were talking about the Wonder Trades and Sword, where we kept getting shiny legendaries.
Yeah, that was.
When we kept getting shiny legendaries with Master Balls attached to them, we just looked at each other and went, thanks for the free Master Ball, but
yeah,
bye.
Yeah, shiny Machamp, shiny
Thundurus.
Yeah.
Thundurus.
We got a whole bunch of Thundurus.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of Thundurus, and I think we got the same Thundurus like 4 times in a row.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because it wasn't holding anything this time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so that, and then the, do you remember when we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get Spirit Tomb online? Yeah,
we tried figuring out how to do that. We managed to do it, but it did take us a minute to kind of...
You gotta talk to 32 people online.
Yeah.
Well, crap. How do
we talk to 32?
Wait, we gotta turn the internet on. That's right. Crap. And I just thought to myself going, wow, that was a blonde moment right there.
Yeah, and it was literally just us roaming around like near Spiritoon's gravestone. Just talking to random people.
Yeah, just talking to random people, and they're like, here, have this ramen. Here, have this pack of sausages. And I'm like,
have this loaf of bread.
Yeah, have this loaf of bread. I found this buried in the ground. Here's a pack of chicken. And I'm like, I don't want your muddy chicken that you found in the ground. Thank you. But
it's probably been pissed on.
I mean, we all have memories like that when it comes to playing Pokemon. I can remember to this day the first time I ever encountered Mewtwo. Back in Red and Blue.
Yeah.
I never did ask you, what was your first version of Pokemon you ever had?
Not Pokemon Blue.
Yeah?
Which I scammed off a dude I rode the bus with. Because my parents weren't really big into the whole Pokemon thing, to the point where it was literally Satan. But,
right.
Yeah.
Mine, it came out a couple of days after, or maybe like a couple weeks before my birthday, right? And I remember we were living in California at the time on Camp Pendleton, and we drove out to the Walmart in Vista. And not Vista, it may have been before Vista. It was like the Walmart, I think in Oceanside, whatever. Anyway, so I was all excited because I'm like, I'm gonna get a copy of Pokemon Red. I wanted Red version.
Yeah.
Because Charizard. And I was like, I want Red. I run back to the electronics department. I'm all set to get my copy of Pokemon Red. And all they had was Blue. So my first copy of Pokemon was Pokemon Blue, too.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then about 3.5 months later, I'm in Gulf Shores, Alabama on vacation. And we go to the Walmart in Gulf Shores. and there's a copy of Pokemon Red.
Yeah.
That my grandparents bought me. And I can remember I hadn't beaten Blue at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I beat Red in 2 days.
Well, that shows the excitement, I guess. I finally got the one-on-one.
And I beat it in 2 days. And I don't think I beat Blue for another 6 months after that. Though I did manage to complete the Pokedex, including Mew.
I'll admit, when it comes to the first game, I never actually bothered with the Pokedex. Heck, the first time I played, I just played with Bulbasaur, and one solo run before I even knew that was actually, a full-on thing with Venusaur, except catching a few Pokemon to use HMs. That's literally it. Venusaur carried me all the way through the game.
All the way up to Diamond and Pearl. I was very lucky because I have amazing grandparents I'm very lucky that they're still with us today. And I got Red and Blue, not at the same time, but I had Red and Blue. I also had Yellow. I got Yellow for Christmas. Mm-hmm. I got Gold and Silver for Christmas, both at the same time. Gold and Silver. Mm-hmm. I can remember the summer Crystal came out.
Yeah.
And I remember buying Crystal and falling in love with Crystal more than Gold and Silver.
That's understandable, yeah.
I got Ruby and Sapphire at the same time. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I was more obsessed with Ruby version.
Groudon.
But then as I got older, Sapphire became more of a game I preferred. I don't know why.
I would say Kyogre, but I don't know. I've always preferred Groudon compared to Kyogre.
And the funny thing is, and this is the funny thing, this is before we all moved in together and everything, and we figured this out probably, about 6 months after we all moved in together, that I had Alpha Sapphire, and you had Omega Ruby.
Yeah.
And then I remember I bought both Sun and Moon.
Yes.
And then I let you play, was it Moon? I let you play Moon, and I played Sun.
I thought it was Sun.
I played Sun, you played Moon. And then I just was like, fuck it, I'm not spending another $100 on Ultra Sun and Moon. I just bought Ultra Sun, and I was like, alright, I'll play it. Cool. Transfer all my Pokemon. Here you go, Tetsu.
I played it.
Yeah. And then we just bought Sword, and because of Switch, you can make multiple save files.
Yeah. Which, out of Sun, Ultra Sun, and Sword, I'll be honest, I enjoyed Sword more. Nothing against the Alola region, nothing against Sun and Ultra Sun.
The pacing was better in Sword.
Well, honestly, I don't even think it was that.
I think it was that. Well, I think that the pacing in Sword was better than it was in Sun and Moon. I mean, I like the idea, because to me, Pokemon games have always been, you get a Pokemon. Alright, here's a Pokedex. Go do stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, go battle gyms. Become a champion. Alola was different because it was, here's a Pokemon. Go do stuff. Go do trials. Go catch these 3 Pokemon. Okay, now go fight Totem. And some of them were cool. Some of them were very, very funny. And some of them were plain stupid.
There was a lot of potential. I mean, considering that you were in a new region that obviously had a different culture, you would think they would have done a little bit more with it, but
And, in Sun and Moon, we did have the, kind of like the essence of the Orange Islands by the regional variants being introduced. And to me, that made sense for the Alola region.
Yeah.
It didn't really make as much sense in Galar.
Are you sure? Because,
okay, when I say that, I love Galarian Weezing.
Galarian Weezing is awesome.
I love Galarian Weezing because it's like top of the morning to you. I didn't need another regional variant of Meowth.
Honestly, I didn't mind it. Granted, the fact that they kind of went with a Viking theme for this UK region, I don't know, seems a little strange. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, historically, the Danes were a thing. Vikings attacked British shore monasteries and things like that. Yes, I get that, but I don't know. It would have made a lot more sense in, I don't know, a Scandinavian region. I'm just saying.
Brought up Vikings. The first thing my mind went to was Assassin's Creed.
First thing that went to my mind is Vikings. Vikings!
It literally went to Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, dear.
But mainly this because I spent what 100 and something. How much time did I put into that game? Do you remember?
No.
I think it was over 100 hours or close to it.
You put in quite a lot.
Especially because when I started the game, the sound didn't work.
Yeah, wait, I can't remember, was it you or a video you showed me where somebody was walking down, like riding their horse down the road and all of a sudden a boat like on the side
That was
of the
me.
water? Okay.
That was me. Yeah, riding the horse down the road and all of a sudden there's a boat out of water and then it just shot up in the sky and flew away. And I was just sat there and went...
AAA titles, everybody.
I sat there and went, well, you know, what are you going to do? As a matter of fact, I think that video was actually on my Xbox Live account.
We might be able to edit it in, probably.
I mean, we could probably edit that in, yeah. I mean, if anything, you know, if you want to keep talking while I pull it up.
Alright, well, like I was trying to talk about before, the Legends of Arceus is just...
Arceus.
Arceus.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, the fact that we're not going to have a form, or supposedly not have some form of competitive scene, which one of the things I was worried about was the heavy style and the agile style. And that made me wonder how competitive play would be able to be done. Now, there has been a little bit of more information brought up about those two particular styles. For one, more power points are expended using either style, depending on the move.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you use close combat, which works with the heavy style, instead of using one power point, you use two. And if you use, say, Calm Mind with the agile style, again, you use 2 power points. So a little bit of risk utilizing them. Honestly, I don't think it's enough risk, if I want to be honest, but I guess they need to make it to where, you know, it's actually kind of usable.
Right.
Because if they punish you too much, it winds up being kind of pointless. But I think the main factor here is that just the fact that there's probably not going to be like player versus player combat is, I don't know, a little bit odd, I think, because most of the Pokemon games, as far as I know, besides Mystery Dungeon, I think Pokemon Ranger, and some of the mobile games, not all, some, Pokemon has largely been, you know, getting to know people. And one way to do that is through Pokemon battles. So the fact of not actually being able to battle other trainers, that's a bit interesting. And a bit concerning, to be fair, because it makes me wonder if that winds up being like a recurring trend. But other than that, the next thing that comes to mind, just to fill a little bit of time here while he's still looking, is some of the Pokemon that are going to be in the game. There have been a lot of posts about what Pokemon were seen in the trailer, and there were other Pokemon that were let loose in screenshots and stuff. In the trailer, we saw a Gastrodon, we saw Garchomp, Gibble, we saw Piplup, Chimchar, and Turtwig. Saw all 3 of them. Now, one thing that people have been bringing up is whether Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott were going to have regional evolutions. And there have been, maybe I'll edit some onto the screen while I'm talking about this. There have been some artists that have put up their ideas for these particular evolutions. Which, I mean, some of them look kind of cool. Some of them look derpy as hell. But some of them actually look pretty cool. Now, whether or not that's actually going to be a thing, I kind of hope not. Because that would open a lot of questions. A lot of questions that I don't think a lot of people would want to try getting an answer to. Because honestly, I think it'd, ruin the immersion.
Right.
Because, I mean, we already have Weird Ear, who honestly makes very, very little sense. Oops.
Sorry.
That's fine. We also have Bastia Legion, and that's another topic right there. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the fact that some new Pokemon were added. And I don't know.
Excuse me.
That was loud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
No, but you can edit this over. But here's the actual clip of it
Yeah.
I have to full screen it. I have to do it over again. But yeah, like you can see right here, we're just riding the horse.
Yeah.
And as we get closer to it, you come around the corner.
Just go over the hill.
Yeah, go over the hill and come around the corner. And I come down this hill right here. And all of a sudden, the ship goes flying in the air. And you can see me come to a stop for like a second. And I'm just like, what in the hell? Right? And I just...
Again, AAA games, everybody.
You look at it and you just go... What?
Yeah,
and I mean, you can even then,
it's horrible.
Like, there's the picture of it right there too. Of that. I mean, it's.
I mean, they've patched that game for a while, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like, does it actually work now? Like, completely?
I don't know. I beat it and I turned it off. I ain't turned it back on since.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now he's watching a clip of...
Now I'm watching a clip of myself playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Yeah. Which I did not realize was 4 minutes and 44 seconds long.
Oh, dear.
And it's Gohan versus Perfect Cell when he turned Super Saiyan 2 for the first time. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, so... I got a lot of stuff in here. Like, you can even put the... I gotta find the video of it, because I took a video of it. Or it was a screenshot of it. Yeah, this screenshot of this dude in Arkham Knight, he's just hanging in the air.
Wait, is that one of Penguin's skins?
I think so, yeah. I mean, that just... I think... Oh, no, here's the video of the top... The final area in Arkham City, top of Arkham... the tower in Arkham City.
With the classic...
With the classic Batman suit. But, this is where you're supposed to fight, knock out the... defeat the thugs, and then you get the Strange.
Yeah.
Except when I come out of the vent, it didn't load the freaking area.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't load the area. And I'm just like you can tell it loaded. The area down there is still loaded.
Yeah.
But it didn't load the arena area.
That is weird.
I mean, and that's when you have moments like that where you're just like, yeah.
I mean, it amazes me, like, how much, like, these companies make tons and tons of money. They hire the best of the best programmers, the best artists, the best animators, and you still have fucking crap like this.
Right. I mean, but it's just fun because you have those moments where you pull up things and you realize that
you done fucked up,
right? But then again, you have these videos, and you can see these videos. And these are actual videos of me on my Xbox, and this shit happens.
Yeah.
And it's freaking hilarious.
It's hilarious until you realize that I forgot to say. And then you gotta go all the way back.
Or, no, it's what's really hilarious is you play 6.5 hours of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Uh-huh.
And I think I told you this because you were awake at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
It was right after my youngest was born. And was it New Year's Eve? It was New Year's Eve.
Maybe.
And I'm playing 6.5 hours. I'm almost to the end. I know I'm almost to the end. Or God, I hope I'm almost at the end of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And the game freezes.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the worst part.
Oh, dear.
So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Close the game out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reopen the game back up. And the autosave has corrupted for the past 6 hours. And my last manual save was 3 hours into that 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it was at that point.
You had to fight that runic boss again, didn't you?
I did again.
And I remember coming in at that point when you first were fighting this guy, girl.
Because I was being the most stubborn asshole on the planet, going, no, I can do this at a lower level.
He managed.
I can do this at level 30. I don't need to. Like I'm at level 60. No, I got this.
Didn't you tell me that you were just kind of going in one direction and then just found your way there?
Yeah, I was going in one random direction and I just randomly found myself in that boss fight. And that's the point of Assassin's Creed, man. You just, you discover stuff, and as much problems that I have with the franchise since Black Flag. Well, not Black Flag. I mean, you include Rogue in that, because I thought Rogue was good, and Syndicate wasn't bad. Unity was horrible.
Oh, dear. I don't know. The only thing I like about Black Flag was the sea shanties.
Says the man that plays sea shanties in the freaking kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I can't help it. They sound good.
But yeah. We'll definitely have to discuss Assassin's Creed on a later podcast.
Eventually.
Alright, I did promise that this would be under 2 hours this time and make it easier for Tetsu to edit.
I'm about to say we've already gone past that.
I said under 2 hours. It's an hour. It's an hour and 5 minutes. So, we're going to try to drop these podcasts once a week unless something crazy happens.
Which, considering our luck,
no, I mean, like some breaking news or something happens and we have to sit down and talk about it that night.
No.
And that means Tetsu's going to be up till 2 o'clock in the morning doing editing and trying to get this out so it makes sense. And look, I get told people at work that you need to react to wrestling as it happens. And I'm like, dude, I have a full-time job. I have 4 kids. I don't have time to react to everything live.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to do it.
It would be.
But I don't have time to do that. You don't have time to do that.
Nope.
So if we roll out a podcast once a week and I have to spend the first 20, 30 minutes recapping what happened in the past week of wrestling, hey. Solid Monster does it every Sunday. I like his podcast.
I don't know who that is.
I know you don't. So, I don't really have an ending for this.
I suppose I'll come up with one then. I hope all you dorks have been having a great week, and I hope next week is even better for you. This has been Tetsu.
And this has been Champ.
And we hope y'all have a very good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.